today we're going to teach you guys some really nice recipes utilizing our fermented biodynamic extract, which is that anaerobic microorganism. You've got fermented kelp, aloe extracts, everything's fermented into here as a really high number, high fungal spray, ready to go, screened through 400 micron. So amazing in its own capacity, but we're going to be taking that further. So with our compost boosters, if you're in and around Australia, then you have access to these two pretty easily. But if you're in Southeast Queensland, then the bags are Morpheus, and using Morpheus, absolutely perfect for this. So the compost booster is that physical kind of material, right? So by mixing that, and again, this is really high number, high count compost. It's also got the trace elements in there as well with the rock phosphate, palagonite, biochar, and lime as well. So we're able to mix part A with part B, then we produce an entirely new creation. So that will then, the FBE will then have to feed on that, and that fresh microbe and that fresh humic compounds, fulvic compounds can then integrate with these guys and feed on that. So this is different from like a bubbling tea recipe. And what we've found is that by just extracting pure, utilizing these resources, you get way higher biology counts than if you were to brew up a tea by itself. So we've actually eliminated the tea making process, and you can just have hard-hitting extracts ready to go and ready to use in the garden without having to muck around with bubblers and all the rest of it. It's important to note that if you are using, say, some backyard compost or some other compost somewhere, like we're trying to get microbes out of this. So the higher microbial levels you have in your compost, the higher quality compost you have, then the higher quality extract you're going to have. So if you're just using some random worm farm castings from the backyard, that doesn't mean, because it's worm casting, it doesn't mean it actually has biology in there. So if you have no biology in your system, then you're not going to get any extracts out. So to go through this process with low quality compost material just makes no sense. All right. We have some sugars because we're going to go extracts, but then we're also going to go, how can we take that further? How can we brew that? So we'll teach that as well. So what we'll need for this is we're going to use a measuring cup. This is 250 ml. Now you can use a seed inoculant if that's what you have access to as well. Compost booster or seed inoculant are suited for the job. So we're going 250 ml into that bucket. And then we're going to go about the same of the FBE. We'll pull that into this jar here and you'll see that beautiful colour to it as well. So it's a rich brown, thick juice. That's going in. Now at this point, if you do have aloe vera in the garden, just raw aloe vera, you can incorporate that in as well. That is a biostimulant, so that's going to have a lot of basically foods for the microbes. We can just put them in straight because we're using the humble paint mixer. So this thing works great, and that really helps split off those microbes from that material. So we're going about halfway full. At that point we can get some extraction going. Get that overhead shot. One way and then the other way. Okay, so that's for foliar spraying. And so when we're spraying leaves and that, we don't want thick juice sitting on the leaf. So that light brown is what we're looking for. So something that's not too heavy. Now then, if you are going for a soil soak or something that you want a bit more hard hitting, then you can go in for here and go for about a half a pack. Because I've got the seed inoculant here as well, I'm also going to chuck some of that in because there's different sets of biology in the seed inoculant. Smells very good. We're just going to chuck a little bit of that in there as well. So then the first mix is for foliar spraying, but you can water this down in foliar spray too. And now we're just going to go a bit heavier. Going one way, and then the other. pretty aggressive, and it needs to be aggressive to split off those microbes. We want high pressure going around that. Take a cup of water and we can see that it's a lot darker colour. So that's how we're wanting to bring it. We can mix that 50-50 of water if you want a foliar spray as well. So that's good. That's a proper extraction. That's good to be put into a watering can and watered into plants, or strained off and foliar sprayed as well. We can see a little bit of that foam on top as well. That's what we're looking for. Now, if we're wanting to push this a bit further, all we have to do is take the FBE and double up on that rate. So we're doubling up on that rate. And then we've got a few different sugar sources. So this is really complex food in here right now. So we've got compost particles, humus, fulvic acid, trace elements. We have the aloe vera in there as well. So they're all complex forms. So to build up the strength of the colony, then we need to actually give it a quick feed, build up numbers, and then it will push into the particles. So we've got sugar sources for that. This is molasses. We have raw sugar, and then we have some raw honey as well. That's got turmeric and ginger in it. So it is a fermented honey. So either one of these are fine. And for whatever reason you have all three, then you can use all three as well. So we want to go at 250 ml of the three. A little bit of raw sugar. This is a very fast food, the raw sugar. Keep it organic, keep the microbes safe. Obviously this is rainwater as well. Then we get that molasses in there as well. There's not so much physical sugar content in molasses, but there's a lot of trace elements. And it's really, really good feed source for the biology. And then we're going in with the honey. Very organic process. Bit of extra, wash off in there, keep your biome fed. So then we got 250 ml of sugar source. That's all going in now. Molasses is very sticky, so you will have to wash that cup out. Now at this time, if you do brew kombucha at home, or say you have some leftover kombucha in the fridge and you guys aren't going to drink it, then what you can do is get the kombucha as well. And you can put, a litre of this in there if you wanted to. You could tip it all in there, but let's just say 250 ml, just so we got that inoculation as well, just some diversity. So we've got microbes, we've got sugar source, we've got complexity in there, complex foods, and they're going to start extracting and compounding that biology. We want to give it a mix at this point. Now got that really nice sweet smell. We have a notepad here, so as you go you can take notes, or if you want to add other things into this, play around, experiment, chuck chunks of ginger or whatever in there, just experiment with it, write it in here and date it so you can see what's going on. Ideally we want anywhere from 3 to 5 days for that nice peak form fermentation, but you can go right through to 2 weeks, so it's context specific. So that's what we're looking at now. Kind of a dark light brown humus tone, thoroughly mixed. I'm going to check the bottom of the bucket. We've got some of our compost down there that's been extracted, and there's no sticky feel down there from the molasses. Filling that bucket now all the way up. So come and get a swoop on there. That's looking nice. Got a little bit of foam. Most of that's bubbles, but there still is some of that biological responsiveness in there. And now we can just cover over. If you use big rubber bands, you can. This is a fairly stable mix. We've got aerobic, we've got anaerobic, we've got the feed sources, we've got extra inoculant. So we don't have to stress too hard about getting a complete seal here. So we can put that on, put it off to the side. Now this is fine to sit in the sun. That can heat up and that will actually produce a lot of activity. And then you start to get this white layer, this pellicule over the surface, and that's a good sign. Basically, at any point from now, you can use this. So for me right now, if we're using this now, we've got the sugar sources, we've got the microbes, we've got everything in there, we've got the trace elements. So we can actually just foliar spray this straight out or water it straight into our plants as is. So it's safe to use straight away. Now, if you are straining it into a sprayer, favourite sprayer is the 12-volt sprayer. It's a Sylvan, a couple $100, best money I've ever spent. You take that basket out, you will have to strain this down or you're going to clog your sprayer up. So this, you can use clothes washing bags from Woolworths, the fine ones. It's about $8 for 3 bags. This is a proper Compost 400 micron bag that costs about $60. Either one works fine really. I have both. Put that basket back in. And now we can strain liquid into the sprayer. So if you're utilizing a sprayer like this, fill the sprayer up halfway and then fill it up halfway again with water. So there you go guys, really easy biologicals. You go straight for extraction, you take it to this point, you put aloe vera in or you don't. Just compost, FBE, sugar source, let them do their thing. You can spray that out and they'll finish the process in the field. Or you can let it go for a few days in the bucket and synergize and then put that out. So really, really easy to make, and this will outdo anything on the shelf.